Good up.
This is Channel 253.
On this episode of the Grit and Grain podcast.
So if you have good ideas, send them to us because people are always like, how can we be a part? What can we do? And though we are fantastic, obviously, at coming up with ideas, we could always use more, and we do steal them from people. And I stole one that we're going to probably do next year. But
for sure. I mean, we have a giant book. We brought a lot of that to life, actually.
Exactly.
Over the last few years. But you can always send us an email via our website. Just like, hey, I went to a beer week and I saw this cool idea, leaving it with you.
Right.
Channel 253 is member supported. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you.
Welcome to the Grit and Grain podcast, where we explore and celebrate the craft beer industry, community, and history in Tacoma, Washington, and surrounding Pacific Northwest areas. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's get to it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Grit and Grain podcast, coming to you guys from Peaks and Pints in Tacoma, Washington. Whoa. I do, yeah. Thanks for hanging out. It's been a long day with a lot of beer. Thanks for hanging out. I am not here with Ron's Corner today. He is not feeling very good, and we're doing a double header. So if you listened to the last one, you heard that he was not here also. But he's here in spirit. He didn't want to get everybody sick.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bethany's on mic.
Yay!
How's it going?
Great. How are you guys?
Very good. Phaedra's hanging out. What's up, Phaedra?
Hello. Good.
Doug's here. He's not on mic, but he'll yell things. And we have two returning guests. It's been a long time, and I'm very excited. But we are not that far out from new Tacoma Beer Week, new dates for Tacoma Beer Week. So we wanted to take a minute to talk about it with Gini Sommer and Kyleigh Palmer.
Hey guys!
What up?
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome back, I should say.
I was saying, it's very nice to be back. We got invited back, Gini.
We did as a duo.
I know.
As a duo, right?
All the Seattle Beer Week shade had to cool off before you guys could come back.
Oh, there's more.
Wait, shade?
Dude,
what?
Seattle Beer Week's getting real active right now.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
They're taking notice, and that's the best compliment ever.
Dude, they're going to hear this.
What
What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, we've been joking. Tacoma's official colors are blue and gold. And so, I have been
gray, blue.
Yeah. It's on. If you look at our flag, it's like a blue flag with these gold kind of ornaments and ribbons and stuff. So those are the official colors. Most people don't.
Okay.
The Tacoma flag, not the beer
city
flag.
of Tacoma.
The city of Tacoma.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
It's okay. I had a
I'm
moment
like,
when he
Tacoma
told
Beer
me
Week
that.
has a flag?
I know.
Yeah. Sorry.
Wow,
the city
that's
of Tacoma.
cool.
Sorry.
We have a freak flag. We love
City
beer.
of Tacoma, not Tacoma.
Yeah.
My brain is made of mashed potatoes.
But you are right. And then our brand colors are gold and gray with a little bit of sometimes accent of blue.
You're right.
All right.
And so we were trying to lean into that a little bit this year, and then Seattle Beer Week put up their thing, and it was all blue and gold, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Even though I have no right to that, we didn't show them anything. None of our shit actually looks like that. We've just been doing that amongst ourselves. It was the planning team. So yeah, we've been talking shit. I know.
Which one?
It's Lyra.
It's Lyra.
The one not on mic.
Over there in
I know.
own business.
Yeah.
She's like, what?
She's the only one close enough. We love you, Lyra. I'm sorry.
She has access to the media. She will take you out.
I know, dude. She could ruin my life. Actually,
She can.
You'll switch to being Jesse.
I'll be Jesse for forever.
I need to meet that person, but that's a different conversation.
Dude, I have a funny update from that actually.
What are you talking about?
You had to hear this story.
I don't think
You didn't hear this story?
because she doesn't do the Book of Faces all that
okay.
much. So yeah.
All right, let me.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, you're
I'm just gonna tell you this real quick. So there's. I swore I told this stupid story on the podcast, but maybe I didn't. So there is this shipping company that I work with that has been calling me Jesse for over a year. And I have corrected this person multiple times, via email. My signature on my email is my full name in big bold letters.
And as a person who receives emails from Matthew, it is in big bold letters. The only letter that is the same in these names is the E.
That's thanks for doing the math. And then I went to pick up from her one time, and I met her in person. I was like, hey, I'm actually Matt from Orcus, and she's like, oh my god, and like we like had a laugh about it. Not that specific thing, but like the tone was like, oh, we've had like funny interactions before, and this is funny that we're meeting in person. So and she's like also apologized to me, so I was just like, fuck it, whatever. I'm just gonna start calling you Jesse.
Yeah.
So for months, I started calling her Jessie. Her name is not Jessie. And she'd be like, hey, Jessie, this is ready to come and pick up whenever you get a chance. And I'd be like, thanks, Jessie, we'll be there. We'll be there next week. And she didn't say anything for the longest time.
She's running around telling stories
I
about
do,
this guy.
seriously. Yeah.
Jessie.
And so
She thinks everyone's name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
dude, after months and months of us calling each other Jessie for no reason, she typed back and she was like, thanks, Matt, and just didn't say anything. And I was like, haha, it's over. Like, did I win or lose? I don't know. I probably ruined this. But yeah, she just said, thanks, Matt. And so then, I swear to God, a month later, she sends me a pickup email and it says, hey, Jesse, this pallet is ready to come and pick up. So then I was like, all right, I got to try something different. So then I actually changed my name on my signature to Jesse McLaren. And then the next month she did it again. And then I left my name as Jesse McLaren. And then I also changed the company I worked for to Jesse Distributing. So I'm just going to keep adding the word Jesse to my signature more and more until she stops. But I actually got the shipping manifest from the brewery who ships through this place, and it says on the invoice, contact Jesse. It's the first time he's ever sent like a shipping thing to me like that. And I was like, LOL, who's Jesse? And he's like, don't worry, I'll have that changed. And I was like, I don't even know if I want you to change it anymore. This is like kind of fun now.
That's awesome.
Is there any way that she thinks her as a second person that is actually Jesse and that there's
No clue.
Matt and Jesse?
I would like.
It's your evil
Bring her on
twin.
the podcast.
I know.
Once and for all. Wait, where's Jesse at?
I like constructed this like dumb fantasy in my head where like I get really close with her like as a professional like acquaintance as Jesse, and then like we like share stories about our kids and stuff, and then she like invites me to like her retirement party, and she like introduces me as Jesse to everybody, and then like it gets to like her husband, and I'm like, hey, I'm Matt, and just ruin 30 years of. Anyway. This is why my brain is mashed potatoes. This is why I can't respond to an email in 24 hours.
Oh my god, that's good. I like that.
Anyway.
Well, if you've already told that story, it's great. I have not heard that. So.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like a boredom thing or what.
Yeah.
It's honestly probably I posted like a dumb thing the other day too about like my Red Lobster thing, which like I've gotten multiple texts about this now, but like it's the same impulse. Anyway. So have you ever heard? Do you know what
Yeah,
the
I
call?
saw it.
You know like what the call of the void is? Have you ever heard that? I can't remember it's something lapel or whatever, but it's a French concept where it's like the sudden urge to like veer into oncoming traffic, or like if you're crossing a bridge, like just throw yourself over the edge
that.
really
You
quick.
shouldn't
You
want
just-
the call of the void.
Yeah, and it's like a super normal human
very normal.
thing.
Very normal.
And I was like, I have that, but I have a version where like I do it with Red Lobster. So like if I were like
So ridiculous.
so like
Continue.
if we're like on a family trip or something, I swear to God I do this, and I do it every fucking time. I don't care where we're going, but if we're on like a family trip and we pass by a Red Lobster, in my head I'm like, what if I just like threw a tantrum and canceled our plans like as a family and said, fuck all of this, we're going to eat a Red Lobster.
Oh my God.
And then like ruined everybody's day, like my kids crying and like Arena's yelling at me, and like
Brain.
I'm just like eating shrimp scampi.
You know,
Don't make me go to Red Lobster. I'll pull this car over.
I can't even remember the last time I enjoyed Red Lobster, except for the biscuits.
so I've actually never been. It's on my bucket list because
Okay.
apparently it's a unique American experience.
It totally is.
So maybe
Well-
we need a beer week team meeting at Red Lobster. Me and Jesse going to hang out.
The call of Red Lobster is a uniquely American experience too.
Yeah, I haven't ticked all
goodness.
of those chains off, and Red Lobster is one of them. I haven't done yet, so
Let us know. Report back.
field
It'd be
trip.
great.
It's without fail. It's a real thing. It's just like this weird. I don't know. Anyway,
I'm gonna think about that.
Enough about
Now
me.
you're gonna make us. Well, hey, we didn't talk about what beers we're drinking
I know.
either.
We should actually. Ginny, can I pop this beer that you brought?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. This is, if you guys are watching, or
It's
just
a
listening?
very, it's
What
really
is
an
this?
amazing beer. So when Hair of the Dog was closing, it was 2 beer weeks ago. We had a bus trip that went to Rainier Growlers,
Peaks and
and
Pints,
he had
Parkway.
and the one of the main beer tenders there, Ben, is a huge friend of please. I just
Alan.
pour it all the way to the top because you know I'm gonna drink it.
Yep.
I paid for the beer.
That is true.
Hello.
So, but they were standing there, and he's like, "Oh, we got all this Hair of the Dog in there," and all these people were drooling over it. But like, we don't have the money for that. And I'm like, in a year, that's going to be double the price, and I want that. So I put it in my beer cellar, and then when I went downstairs, I had a barley wine that was also made 2 years ago from Narrows, which has no label on it. That is different than what they put out, and I was going to bring that, and then I saw the Hair of the Dog. I'm like, I want to share this with true beer nerds who actually are going to either like this or tell me it's horrible because it's from 2016. So it's 9 years old.
So this is a bottle. This is a 1 liter bottle of Matt,
Yeah.
which is, I would say, one of Hair of the Dog's probably most famous beers at this point. But Matt Vandenberg and Matt Bonney, fantastic memorial to those two, and like one of my favorite beers on this planet.
Ooh, the cherry is strong.
Matt,
Sorry that none of you can taste this. Here, I'll do it for the camera. The cherry is strong.
Matt, did we officially introduce our guests, or did we just like, hey,
You did.
Okay, all right.
did.
I was
I just started talking about me.
gazing. Well, I don't know. We were talking
What my
about Jesse.
dumb brain
I love
does when I'm
gazing
bored.
and
And
okay.
it's very smoky. But since it is such a big bottle, I do want to share
Actually,
with
yeah.
my newfound friends that have let me join their
Their homebrew club?
their homebrew club
Yeah, so why did you join a homebrew club, Jenny?
because I am eventually going to brew on my own.
Yeah?
But I have brewed. with other people, and I'm a nerd, and I like talking about beer all the time.
And hanging out with other nerds?
And hanging out with other nerds.
Oh, I'm a
Yeah.
beer nerd.
You? Dude, you're...
Speaking of beer community, like
Totally.
last episode.
Yeah, but I have been in the beer community for longer than a lot of people. I just haven't brewed a lot.
I have the
So.
feeling that a lot of people consider you to be one of the most common denominators of the
I-
beer
I
community
would
around here, Jenny.
definitely say that. For sure.
You might be the actual face of it.
Tacoma Beer.
Yeah.
For sure. Definitely.
I just found that picture of us at the Parkway on the couch.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was like deep diving in my photos.
Actually,
Yesterday.
so to Doug about the question earlier, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll make time.
Okay.
We also like to be really mysterious.
Yeah, fuck.
We don't want to share all of our secrets.
You
Anyway.
gotta wait till the end.
No, but thank you for all drinking this with us, and I
Yeah,
want to hear
this
your
is awesome.
opinions later. So it actually held up pretty well.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, it's
What
really
year
nice.
was it again?
2016.
I think it's a cherry chocolate smoke, and that's
Yeah,
exactly what I'm
very
getting.
like
Yep.
cherry wood,
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of smoky.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh man,
Lost its carbonation.
It's lost its
but-
carbonation.
that's pretty normal for
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
Hair of the Dog stuff, though.
Yeah.
I love that. I think like still beer is like a thing that you just don't really hear. That's not like a concept. Still cider, still wine, all that stuff is all normal. But like, I feel like Alan Sprint's Hair of the Dog is like one of the only breweries to really fuck around with like really low carbonation, super
Yeah.
full-bodied, very complex beer. And this is like such a good example of that.
Well, totally. And actually, carbonation, and especially in dark beers, can take away from the flavor.
I would
See, I
say
am
so.
a nerd. It
You don't need to
yeah.
prove yourself to anybody, Ginny.
But no, it really can, because then it just like eating a really good like cake. You want to have.
You need richness.
You need richness, and you need that, and sometimes the bubbly effervescence takes away from that.
Ooh, fancy.
Ooh, that's the smartest I'm gonna get.
this almost 10-year-old very big beer will
Yeah.
probably make sure of that.
Yeah.
That's true. Thanks, Mika.
Nice. I like it.
So you guys are here to hang out and talk about Tacoma Beer Week, which is
Yeah.
when we had you guys on last time. That's what we talked about. So I'm super pumped to be able to do this again. But Tacoma Beer Week is actually at a different time of year. If you guys listened to the last one, it was actually about a month prior to August of 2023 that you guys were on. And so now we're a month out from March of 2025. So we moved it to a new time of year. And we've gotten a lot of questions about that, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we did, so me, Gini, Kyleigh, Lyra, who you guys have heard on the podcast before, and a few other folks are all volunteers who help organize Tacoma Beer Week. And the whole point is to help promote local businesses that need it. And when we kind of went around and asked a bunch of folks about this, August was already a super busy time. And not only is it a busy time for all these businesses already, but it's a busy time for hotels. It's a busy time for, travel in general. Most of the population of Tacoma almost flip-flops because people are going out of town prior to their kids going back to school. So everybody's camping or on vacation or whatever. And then everybody who's here is here for events at the Tacoma Dome or sporting stuff or concerts or whatever it is. And the hotels are 95% booked. And if you're running a beer week, one of the things you really want to do is to get new folks to come to your town and enjoy the stuff that you have to offer as a unique beer community. And you guys have heard us talk 100 times about Tacoma's very deep, rich craft beer history. And that's a cool thing. It's an infectious thing and it feels great. And we just did an episode about a social connection that kind of comes from that. And so if you're trying to get new people to come to your town to experience that sort of thing, the hotels can't be 95% booked.
Yeah, make it easy.
So we talked to a bunch of businesses, and they all kind of agreed that something earlier in the year, probably after the dry January / New Year's resolutions,
we just
sort of brush off, and everybody's like, "Hey, fuck this a little bit. I'm going to start drinking again." So Tacoma Beer Week for the first time will be in March. It's going to be the first week of March, and hopefully, if we don't fuck it up too much, that's when it's going to be. That's going to be the permanent new home for Tacoma Beer Week in the year.
I like it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. I did like Matt's comment when we discussed moving. He's like, "Don't worry, Kyleigh, it's going to be a bit of a smaller scale. It's not going to be as
and
big."
then we both laughed at him.
Yeah, I think we roared in laughter, and we were like, "Oh no, it's really not." And who's right? I just want to hear it. Who's right?
Yes, we're totally
Yeah,
right. I'm a fucking idiot.
We just started laughing, and we're like, "There's no every time you say we're going to do a beer week and it's going to be small, it's always almost double."
Yeah,
dude, I was so serious when I said that. I really believed what I was saying.
We know.
And I
wasn't lying.
Well, when you come off the back of 10 days in August, beer week is exhausting.
It's not a
Most
week.
of us, we're a small, it's 9-10 days.
Yeah.
Most of us, a lot of us are working during the day at our daily jobs and our daily life. And I think we can hit up each of us maybe 4 events a night because you're also often driving. And so you're not really actually drinking or partaking as much unless you force your spouse to be the driver on certain nights, which is what I did.
Thank you to Russ and John.
And John, yeah. So
Irina.
it is exhausting. And so we had this discussion, okay, we're going to do it. We're going to get through August and then we're going to give it some time, put some real intentional thought behind it, gather feedback. And if it's the right move, we'll go ahead and announce it. We'll be smaller, don't worry. So our messaging went out, and our messaging was it might be a little bit smaller, but it's going to be the same amount of fun, the same support, the same getting out there for your community. And then Matt's like, "We're brewing another beer, official one." Okay, cool. We're going to do another one. Yep, great. We're going to do a third. Wow. We now have 4 official Tacoma Beer Week beers, which we will talk about.
4
but,
beers.
And we were, stressed for time to do one. So, good for you, Matt.
So go ahead.
Do you also think people have a little more time in March? It is a better time to do this, and so they have some more time to brew in February and January.
I think there's a bit
And there's
that.
more styles you can do because, if you're doing dark beers and you're planning for March, best time to brew dark beers is really, I'm guessing,
It's not a brewery yet.
is actually August, so you can let it sit and things like that. So, or Pilsners, I'm wrong, the Cicerone will tell me. But
well, so one of the comments that we did get last year was the Brown and Haley beer that we did would have everybody was like, this would have made a fantastic dark beer, which I think it still made a very fantastic
I think
creamer.
it was
Yeah.
perfectly fine the way
I
it
thought it
was.
was awesome, but that was
Both
a comment
things
that
can
was
be
made
true,
a couple
though,
times.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
right?
But you are kind of I think Jenny's the point is I think you're right. Is you're kind of restricted a little bit less on the style.
Right.
Nobody's gonna if your official beer or one of your cool collab beers is a big imperial stout in March, that's not really that big a deal. If it's a
Right.
super light fruity lager or wheat ale or something, that's also probably fine. So
Right.
just the potential seasonality is way better.
And so with it moving to March and having just gotten, recovered from August.
Seriously.
No,
I'm
that's
so
what
sorry,
it
you
feels
guys.
like.
We actually
Totally fine.
started planning this beer week
August.
2 weeks after
Yeah,
the last
August.
beer week. So
I texted everybody like September 1st. Like, welcome back, team.
I believe we had a conversation. I was like, you know what? Let's just all have a little bit of break. You know, let's go our separate ways just for a couple of weeks, chill out, and
not
then
you, it's
September 1, and then Matt's September 1. All right, guys, when are we meeting?
he literally, it was like 10 o'clock in the morning. It was, yeah.
I'm such a piece of
Yeah,
shit.
and there's some events that we did that were really successful in August, but they're just like the pro-am that we did at Parkway with the homebrew with club
with
members.
Browns Point guys,
That was really great, but you can't turn that around from August to March.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I guess there are some like what we hope will be flagship events that aren't going to happen this year. They've been replaced by some other cool events and some of our really big ideas from our big book of ideas. It's very long and crazy. We couldn't bring all of that to fruition quickly. So, but somehow it's not made it smaller. It's just,
I'm
which
excited.
is great.
I think
It's
it's
really
gonna be
great.
great.
And we
yeah.
consistently hear from a lot of places that this week is one of their highest revenue weeks for Tacoma Beer Week.
That was actually big last year.
Yeah.
So
That was
that's really important.
nice to
That's really
hear.
exciting to hear because you put a lot of effort into it, and to know that people on the ground are feeling the effects of that is really great. So
Yeah,
Yay.
for sure.
yeah.
There's, I think there's a few folks who I'm pretty sure listen to this regularly who help organize their own beer weeks. Seattle obviously does a great job. Bellingham does a great job, but North Bank absolutely kills it. Michael, who's been on the podcast a couple of times from Vice Beer, from Zeppelin, who actually comes up here for Tacoma Beer Week to
Yes.
help us with the Heidelberg Derby,
And
which
they
is
also
coming
do
back.
Portland Beer Week too.
Yeah, they're like, I mean, they're so busy, and he does all of North Bank pretty much by himself. And
Yeah.
I went down there for a couple of days to do events down there, and he shows up at everything. I mean, his team is probably a little smaller than ours, which is crazy. But yeah, it's like him, you know, like Lane at Aslan, who runs Bellingham, like. The whole point is just to like get people out, have a good time, connect with the industry in a way that, you know, maybe they didn't before. And so when you hear stuff like that, you know, this was our busiest week of the year, or we were doing Saturday numbers on a Monday,
Yeah.
which is like what Ron told us.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome, and it's a huge economic impact, but it's also hopefully like a chance for a bunch of, you know, just on the last episode we were kind of talking about people that are like kind of outsiders in the industry, like they're kind of like looking through the glass, they don't totally get it, but if you just kind of invite them in a little bit with something that they connect to outside of this, and then show them that beer is cool too, and you can come back and hang out, like that's the whole idea. So it's super satisfying to hear when business is up and new people are coming in and lots of new faces. That was huge in August too. I was at a lot of events where I didn't recognize a lot of people, and that's awesome.
It was awesome. But also, Tacoma Beer Week, one of the original points is to get people not to be afraid to go anywhere in Tacoma. And seriously,
That's a tall order, man.
I know, because it is Tacoma. But like we're doing a couple events this year on South Tacoma Way, and so every year we kind of do a little more in areas that they're like, hey, it's thriving. South Tacoma Way
for
is
sure.
thriving,
Yeah,
really
but
thriving.
there's still
Killing it right
people
now.
Yeah.
who are like, your husband's band's playing down at the airport. Oh, I can't go down there because I'm afraid. I'm like, you live less than a mile away from there. Like, yeah, but I can't walk there at night. I'm like, okay, but you can. So if
Yeah.
more people just move around Tacoma and understand what's going on in Tacoma, you understand all of the other things that are going on. And we
That's a
can,
great point, Ginny.
Yeah.
and then
I mean,
that's how you learn about your city, and you're not afraid to go there. And it's not a one-trick pony.
Yeah, it is about driving business. You know, we've got our regulars that, you know, Ron always does great, Red Hot, Parkway, you know, those types that are always there, which is fantastic because they help anchor the program. We always know we can count on them. But it's also about getting people out of their comfort zone and exploring a new to them neighborhood.
And trying a new place.
Trying a new place. Maybe they'll find something they love. So I really like getting out and about,
Yeah, exactly.
beyond, you know, this little downtown Proctor bubble that kind of can happen.
Totally.
And I think we spoke about this last time in 2019. We laid out the map and we looked at where all of the events were, and then we started making a conscious effort to reach out to the
other
outlying
neighborhoods.
and saying, all right, let us help you do something
Totally.
to make, you know, it is a big event and everyone should be involved. So,
Exactly.
yeah, it's
Totally.
really fun. So we'll have, I think, we'll have more than 30. I think when things get added every day, even during Beer Week.
They really do.
So we've done our call, you know, we're going to release the program. It will release, you know, February 1, but what goes out initially is not what the way it stays.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
constant.
People just jump on board and they-
yeah, and
yeah,
that's great.
totally. Yeah.
Just can't promise you'll get the same amount of promotion that you get if you don't hop on early.
Yeah.
You
The
know?
marketers in us say, if you want an event to be posted,
Yeah,
do it now.
Yeah. I know.
Someone's
I know.
Yeah, we just get used to it.
Kyleigh and I come from an events background, so if you want stuff done,
You guys are so black and white about it, and I love that because I'm just like, hey, we don't really feel this way, and you're like, no, we just have to say that.
Yeah,
so
it
that
won't
people will
happen.
Yeah.
you have to set the
If you give people grace, they won't do anything.
It's true. And then
I'm learning so much about PR from you two. It's bananas.
Matt will be like,
Kind
how do
but
you
firm.
do this all the time? I'm like, welcome to
Dude, I see.
he did. He sent
totally
that
said
text,
that.
and Kyleigh and I had the same and very different
Yeah.
responses.
Yeah.
I told you motherfuckers exactly what I needed from you, and then you were like, hey, what do you need from us? And I'm like, in my head, I was like, you two probably hear this every day, 50
From
times a day.
coworkers and other people.
And you both work with artists, which
Yep.
there's plenty of overlap. Like you guys are both industry because you've been doing stuff adjacent to the industry for a while. And Gini has been planning Brew 53 for many years. But like just your normal day jobs is still very similar in the sense that you guys are still hurting artists, which is very difficult.
And I'm married to one.
That's pretty different.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked before about how, brewers, or, I'm now doing food and beverage for major events, and everyone's really good at what they do, but that means they're really good at what they do, and maybe could use a little bit of help on the time management and the marketing.
Totally.
And we, we're a small team, but we pitch in and we'll make shit up sometimes. And
Totally.
so you said you're doing this. Well, you're also doing this.
We make nothing
job.
up. All purposeful.
I'm like, how do we make this sound not like one line that you gave me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's now going to be a carnival of fantastic things. And
Kyleigh is the best at that.
I know.
She is very much the best at that.
well, I just did drafted the press release and sent it over to Matt for a second set of eyes. Apart from spelling his name wrong, but didn't call you Jesse.
No. Which would have been so goddamn funny. Oh my God.
You were like, wow, I sound great. I'm like, I know.
I love that.
I didn't say this, but I totally would have.
So I actually have a question for Bethany.
Can we get to it after we take a super quick break?
I suppose.
Okay.
Cliffhanger.
Stick around for Ginny's question. Totally good cliffhanger. We are going to take a break, refill our beers real quick. We'll be right back.
This is Citizen Tacoma host Eric Hanberg and Channel 253 co-founder. With me is sound producer Doug, here to ask you to support Channel 253 in this new year. We are independent media. 2025 is going to be a hard year in a variety of ways, but we can keep Tacoma strong by covering the things that you care about.
That's right. Even though nationally things may be difficult, you can have a tangible effect and input on things happening locally, and we'll try to inform you and aid you in that quest.
We want to be responsive to the listeners because we are listener funded. If you like the things that we talk about, Citizen Tacoma is going to be all in on the mayoral race and all of the other things happening in our city. We have the international angle from Nate and Hope. Please consider giving us your support at channel253.com/membership. $4 a month, $40 a year. Your support makes a real difference.
And those of you who are members already, and that's a number of you, we thank you for your continued support.
Thank you, and we hope to see you on the Slack forums, a special member benefit. Again, channel253.com/membership.
Welcome back. Thank you guys so much for hanging out during the break. As always, thanks to Doug. And a big shout out for making us sound wonderful every single week. Thank you, Doug. We love you.
Yes.
And to Chris for putting us on video. If you guys haven't yet, please go to YouTube and subscribe to Grit and Grin podcast. It's super helpful when we get like comments and subscriptions and things like that. So
I'll make sure my mom does. Great
Yeah.
job, Kyleigh.
perfect. I honestly it's been nice getting new comments from folks. Like people are just way more inclined to comment on YouTube, and so like insights from folks who we don't hear and don't get comments from on Spotify is awesome. So I'm like, I hope that all of these episodes start discussions because it's awesome. And then you heard on the break, but please do go check out Channel 253. It's amazing. They're member supported.
Yes.
And if you want to stay
I'm a
connected
member.
to Tacoma,
I'm a 253 member.
Yes.
Me too.
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome. Okay. We don't have new beer. We all just ended up pouring more of the
Because
of
it's
Ginny's
very
beer.
good.
It's so fucking good.
Is there any more left? Or is
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
You
a
want
little
down
bit.
your way?
Are we sure?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
back in
John didn't know that I brought it, but he also doesn't know what he's missing. So until he hears the podcast, so if we have any left, I will take it home to him. I do want the bottle though. That will go on my shelf.
It's a great bottle.
Yeah.
So I do have a question for Bethany.
Yes.
So if you listened to the previous podcast, it's just
It was a long time ago.
No.
It was way before your time.
Go on.
no.
Ron's been sick for weeks.
So if you listen to the last podcast they just taped, then you will know that I met Bethany when she first got to Tacoma, and she was brewing for the Ram. And funny story, like she met me in Tacoma Brewing, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
But I was actually doing the chalkboard, and she was meeting with the brewers to talk about the official Beer Week beer, and that was the first official Beer Week beer that was a collab beer ever. And so if you didn't know that, you were one of the brewers that brewed the first official Tacoma Beer Week beer.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
That's not a question. That's just
Yeah, kudos to Bethany.
I heard. So backstory. So, but my question to you is, and Ron, my question to you is like, what was that like to brew with all the bros? Because that was like Andy.
This is the Narrows one we did, the black Belgian something or other IPA.
I don't know.
Black Belgian triple IPA,
It was
something like that.
weird.
Yeah.
It was a really weird beer,
brewed it
but
at
like,
Narrows.
but Kenny from Wingman, and before you worked at Pacific Brewing,
Right.
Andy was there, and Ron popped in for a moment to like give his 2 cents and like write a note and then leave because this place wasn't open, so that's what he was still doing.
Right.
And then Morgan was there, and then you. So it was the Ram, Tacoma Brewing, Narrows, Wingman, and Pacific Brewing.
The OGs, yeah.
The OGs.
Well, that's where I met Steve at Pacific,
Yeah.
before he was starting Pacific, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. And so, I mean, that's how I got that contact that then led me to Pacific.
Right.
The next year or whatever, less than the next year.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just remember again like being so welcomed into the beer community. So it was fun. I mean, I think the brew day was really fun. Joe was the brewer there.
Yeah.
Joe Waltz.
Oh,
He was
he was
awesome.
good.
Hi, Joe.
He was
If you're
the
listening.
First brewer there.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was Mike Davis
Yeah.
after Joe.
He's back in the
Yeah.
Midwest as
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
last I heard that was a long
So
time
Bethany's
ago.
like,
but yeah, he was
ooh,
great.
another girl. And I'm like, I'm just the artist doing the chalkboard so people can read Morgan's handwriting.
Yeah, so
That's what I
necessary.
said.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, hello, a female.
Yes. And then I just stayed, and they're like, are you staying? I'm like, yeah, why would I leave?
This is mine too.
Yeah. So that must have been, so the first beer week, official beer week, is about 2014.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So we're, well, there's a bit of a debate. We debate amongst ourselves. Are we the 10th or 11th here this year? Because we were pretty dark during pandemic. 2020, nothing official happened. But Ron and I think maybe the
Couple other
Parkway
spots,
and a
yeah.
couple did a couple events. But we promoted them, but we didn't do an official thing. So
Right.
there was debate last year. Last year 10 years since we were founded, but was the 10th beer year. I think we're just leaning into it's year 11, whatever. I lost the
Go with
battle.
it.
So,
it's year
you know.
one.
Yeah.
It's March now. It's in March
Year
now.
11, we're fine. And it was founded by Z. Brackney,
That's
and who carried the torch for 10 years last year, and then Gini and I entered. You were first, and then I came in a little bit later, a few years later.
Everybody begs to be on this committee, and then all of a sudden goes, why did I do that?
That's because you, me, and Z were there.
No, but I mean, I was like, I want to help, and nobody would let me help. And then finally, I'm like, I'm just going to show up to everything. And then they're like, well, Ginny's part of this, right? And so then they just let me be on it because I just kept showing
Just
up.
give her stuff to do.
And then you came up to me and didn't know I was part of Tacoma Beer Week, and you're like, that's shite.
I did not. I said the marketing. I couldn't figure out what was going on, or if the week even existed. I was like, I went to an event that said Tacoma Beer
And I'm
Week,
like,
and then I
all
tried
right.
to Google it, and I didn't know what the week was.
Right.
So can I help? And she's like, oh, yeah, I'm part of it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a wonderful, wonderful week.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay,
The diplomacy immediately blossomed.
She really did. It was light switch. And so then I'm like, all right, let's go to brunch.
It'd be
And
about
if you-
2018,
And
yeah.
if you and Z get along, because it's either going to work really well or not. If you get along, and then it became a threesome, not a threesome. Sorry,
Yeah, it did.
Damn, son.
Yeah, it did.
We've really grown.
Hair of the dog is what they
Hair
call
of
it,
the
folks.
dog.
Hair of the dog.
Let me drink some more of the hair of the dog.
It did. It became the three of us.
Yeah, yeah.
And then gradually we
and
were
then
able to get.
I
more.
met Matt, and Matt's like, "Ooh, Tacoma Beer Week."
And then I
really?
begged Matt to run a cheese night.
Yes, you did.
Cheese night.
Yeah.
Cheese and beer
Yeah.
night.
and then we brought on Lyra, and yeah, we are doing a cheese night this year.
We are.
For the lactose intolerant people, I will be doing a different event that day. But
I think that's my first event that day.
So the calendar will be published when this comes out.
Yeah.
So
We'll see how many more got signed up. Between
I know
now.
there probably will be more. So Stink, Jenny and Steve just opened up their new spot in downtown at 909, and it is fucking gorgeous. It's so nice. So I've already got them commissioned. They're gonna pick out 5 cheeses. 3 of the Tacoma Beer Week beers that we're doing are gonna be featured there, plus a couple other special ones. But we're doing 5 beers paired with 5 cheeses.
I'm in.
It is
It's
gonna be
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
I always want to do that. But
So
Yeah.
we've done it at Pint Defiance before, and
Yeah.
it worked out great.
Yeah.
Actually, Erica Baird, who is like former industry, she worked with me at Columbia, but spent many years as a professional cheesemonger. Is an absolute beast, and her like well of knowledge on cheese is heinous. And she helped us do the first. It's like
And professional cheesemonger, is that her official title?
Well, cheesemonger is a
that's a
thing,
real
so
title.
yeah.
Like
Right,
it's
I love that.
Yep.
I love that.
She's the Cicerone of cheese.
I was going to say, it's like Cicerone, but
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
but way cooler.
Yeah.
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 Not just made up.
Yeah.
Like cheesemonger is like a thousands-year-old like actual title.
Sure. Okay.
Somebody in 2007 was like, "What should we call this thing? Cicerone? That sounds cool." So hers is way cooler. Yeah, not a beer monk.
No.
That was already trademarked by these guys in Portland. But she helped with the first one, and it was so cool. Katie Johnson was doing it with us too at
Yeah.
that time, and then we skipped a year or two, and so I'm just, like super pumped to be bringing it back. And Stink is like it's a perfect
Yeah.
place to do it. So
It is a perfect
great
place.
timing for their new spot.
And it's in 909 in that big old building.
It's in the big
Is there
building.
anybody else in that building?
A bunch of lawyers and
Okay, so
real
they-
estate dudes.
Okay,
Gonna
I
be
wasn't sure.
lit.
No, it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
and they have money to buy the cheese and the beer, so they should come.
That's true.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
used to work in that building. So I
Oh,
used to go,
fun.
yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah, years ago. So I thought it was vacant. So after the last tenants moved out, or whatever the last company that was
Yeah,
there, so
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know that
yeah.
there was still
Yeah.
Dude.
stuff happening in it. So
There's
cool.
stuff happening downtown. It's
I
really
love it.
cool.
I love it. Cool.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be awesome. You
Yeah.
should absolutely be there. That's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yes, I will be
All right.
there. I think that's my first event of the night.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Yeah,
right.
we all have a schedule.
we will
I know,
definitely have a schedule.
So we're doing if you guys listened to the last one, we were brewing our collab beer with Logan, who's going to be here for a live podcast on Wednesday, and Lyra and I,
I
Jesus
saw that beer.
Christ.
Hair of the dog.
Definitely brewed beer.
yeah, this is the dumbest. You ever seen
So
those
you guys-
videos, like those TikTok videos of people's brains like short circuiting, like while they're like trying to make a video,
So
and
you
then they
guys
get really
making beer.
concerned. So Lyra and I set up an event, but it can only happen on Wednesday. So I'm gonna like do the podcast, hang out for like one beer, and then run down to do a lambic night.
Which was extremely popular 2 years ago. Was it 2 years or last?
It was 2 years,
ago.
yeah, 2023.
That was incredible. I mean, I'm so
the
excited
Bottle
about
Condition
it.
movie.
Bottle Condition,
Yeah.
and then we went to Rusty Goat,
man.
and you brought out a ton of stuff. And so
That's,
I'm really
that's like
excited.
one of my favorite events.
I
that we've
still
done.
Yeah.
have people come up to me
Same.
from that night, and
Yep.
they go, "Do you remember talking to me?" I'm like, "No."
I remember that bit. I still have people coming up, and they're like, "That night with that movie
I know.
was incredible." So I think this one at Bordeaux
Is
Yeah.
at Bordeaux.
Wine Bar in Old Town. This is our first event in Old Town, I think.
Yes.
Cool.
Ever.
Yeah, and this is actually so like honestly, we've made a habit of highlighting some cool new businesses that have opened up in Tacoma, kind of by happenstance. Although it is like a goal of ours, but just some of these events fit so well in like in these new spots. But like Bordeaux has existed up in Enumclaw for a while. And they run a fantastic program. They opened up in Old Town, and they were immediately in to do something. And like, if you want to talk about wine bars that take their beer selection really seriously, they are a great example. They carry great shit in terms of a beer selection. So that was an easy place to like set up an event like that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be one of my highlights. I'm really thrilled that Belgian Night's coming back at Pint
Yes.
Defiance. It was incredibly fun
I
last
hope
year.
I get
Dude.
to go this year.
It was so good.
excited.
Well, by the time
Standing room only.
by the time I got to the Heidelberg Derby, which is also going to be fantastic,
Yes.
I was
Second year.
like, I don't know how many Belgians I'd consumed by that stage, and I'm like, yeah, car racing. Get out of the way, Matt. I got to take some pictures because I think that the Derby might have been my third I think it was the third event I'd been to that night.
Yeah.
The Derby was my third thing, and then I actually, which I normally don't do, did an unofficial beer week event, which sometimes happens.
Close a bar down or something?
Well, we went
Monday night. Yes.
We went to living room.
Oh, living tap room.
And
Hell yeah.
And so we did that, and then we're like, we're gonna be back here in like 2 days.
Yep, for 90s night.
Yeah,
Night.
and so
Yeah.
the most beer week events I've ever done in a week is 24.
That's a lot.
That's probably
Is there a fuck up story in there somewhere?
Yes, but that's for later.
She's the queen of the cliffhangers at the moment.
know,
She's like,
Jesus.
just wait.
Well, I'm so excited just from you guys talking about it. Like, I'm stoked. I hope everyone listening
Yeah.
is
Well,
stoked.
one of the events that I'm helping put together, which
yes.
Lyra and I convinced Browns Point Homebrew Club to do beer science. Sorry, like
you have to sing it.
I have to
Song
sing it
beer
because it's so
science.
exciting. So, and when we went last week to tell everybody, I'm like, hey, we're gonna judge you on how nerdy and 7th grade beer you can be, and do. It's a science fair,
Family friendly
to
as
learn,
well,
but it's
so.
family friendly.
Oh,
and it's
okay.
gonna be at the E9, the OG
Firehouse.
E9
Yeah.
Firehouse.
Yeah.
And so it's upstairs. We're working with Will, who is the manager there, and he's amazing.
I will.
It's amazing.
And but we're gonna we don't know everything that's gonna happen because they haven't told us everything that they're gonna do yet.
Experiments.
Yeah, but there's gonna be experiments. There's gonna be 6 different stations. You get a little punch card. You have to hit each thing, and then you get to vote as a patron. Sorry, I have
Like
to
your-
say patron.
yeah.
Like a beer nerd. You
Yep.
get to go in and you learn. So bring somebody who knows nothing about beer. They get to taste some things. They get to learn about the different things. And then that's going to be the first Sunday, so March 2nd. And then you can go through the rest of Beer Week taking that knowledge, and you get to judge your own beer based upon the knowledge. So hopefully they do a good job. But we will have some secret shoppers who come through, and because they get prizes, because if anybody knows anybody who brews beer for any reason, they want prizes. So they want prizes.
What's
They
your
can't afford to
motivation?
buy
I
them
want a prize.
themselves.
Right. So
Pair of socks,
yeah,
a sticker, a water bottle.
Canvas bag.
I will be making very specific prizes. So so they get that, and then they also get some other things which they know about, but we're not going to say on the podcast. But anyway, but no, but it's
great.
going to be it's going to be really fun. It's the first time we've ever done something like this,
It's
and
the first time I've
real-
ever seen something like this.
Right,
I've
so-
never seen somebody do a beer science fair. This is the coolest thing ever.
it's just fun, and who doesn't want to have no stress? Well, they might be stressed, but I'm not. I'm
I was
not.
gonna say,
Brewers over there are like, oh my
just
god.
based on my childhood, I can't think of a whole lot of
I'm-
things more stressful than a
12
science
years old, I
fair.
had to do a science project. The volcano will it erupt on
But
time?
they also it took literally 2 minutes for them to sign up, and they already started partnering and talking, and then I already saw people taking away the poster boards going, no, I'm in charge of this, you'll mess it up. So, I mean, I've already seen it's gonna be
See,
amazing.
this is why I like the Browns Point
Right.
Homebrew Club.
But I mean, but they're so passionate and they have so much information and knowledge that they are wanting to share with people,
Totally.
and they can actually bring it down to not a dumbed down level, but bring it down to a level that
To
we
a 7th
want.
grade level.
To a 7th grade
explain
level,
like a 5 level.
and people explain for all of us in a very nice way.
Entry level.
I'm so excited.
I think
for that.
this is like we've always said we don't want to be a beer week where you've been to them where all the bars just have like it's just solely tap takeovers. It's like and there's a place for that, and we do have
Right.
stuff like that
For sure.
But you know, science is fun. Music, we've got like incredible
that's the
music.
other one.
First one I want to talk about is the one at Parkway. We're pairing female or women and non-binary brewers or in the alcohol
the
industry.
Pink Boots is
with
going to
Pink
be a
Boots,
part of that.
and then we're also pairing it with music.
Oh, fun.
So you can come along, maybe find some new music, meet some of those brewers. I think that's going to be really fun at the Parkway. It's been a passion project for her,
Mackenzie there.
Mackenzie.
For Mackenzie, yeah.
She's worked really hard to pull this off. She's spent a lot of time on it, and I think it's going to be a really great event.
Nice.
She was actually the first person. So like after we did the announcement for March, like I said, I was kind of telling people that we're going to try to do a light year, and she was the first person to come up to me and be like, "Hey, I actually really want to do something for Tacoma Beer Week." It actually happens to fall on International Women's Day, which is why she wanted to do it, March 8th.
March 8th.
Yep. So that
Great for
was
marketing,
part of
so
it.
take a note of
I know.
that. I didn't twig yet.
And she was like, hey, like there are so many dope bands in Tacoma that are like mostly or all female, and like people like it's weird that we don't talk about that because there are some legit like
Right.
like bands here that really are like, and that's kind of a unique thing to maybe our area. But there's also a ton of brewers in Washington or breweries that are women owned, non-binary. And that's like, there's no reason not to get all those people together in one place and like have a fucking party. And
Right.
she was like, this is what I want to do. And I was like, cool, dude. How can we help? This sounds awesome. And she brought it together. Also brought it together while recovering from hip surgery. So she's
Right.
a fucking savage.
She is.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly healthy and crying like a fucking every other day trying to do this shit.
Well, and the nice thing about that is it's probably going to be like noon to 7, and then after that, you want to start?
Which
Actually,
one?
so
What day are we
there's
on?
multiple. So
There's multiple things.
Oh, yeah, there's multiple music that day. isn't there?
XBP is
Yeah.
doing Vinyl Pop Night at New Frontier
Yes.
Lounge and bringing out some insane guests. If you are bouncing back and forth between spots, do not miss that because that's going to be fucking awesome. Another like kind of passion project event. And then at 9 o'clock that night.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, there's if you guys were like pop punk era, emo kids like most of us now who can afford to be a part of the craft beer industry, that whole genre of music is having this crazy resurgence, and local kind of icons in that realm, Amber Pacific, are releasing their first album in 10 years, like small preview, they're actually going to be here to do an episode to talk about it shortly after this one. But Georgetown Brewing made a beer actually based on a recipe where the guitar player from Amber Pacific is actually a National Homebrew Award winner for his Amber Ale.
And part of Browns Point Homebrew
Yeah,
Show.
And part of
another,
Browns
yet
Point
another
Homebrew
free
Club.
publicity shout out to Browns Point.
Those guys just
They
eat paper
kill
airplanes
it.
and shit gold.
Yeah.
Like that whole brew club. Dude. Everybody that comes out of that place.
I didn't know we had to eat paper airplanes.
I think that event, and then if you and then if you want to even like talk about art, we're doing glass blowing. You can blow your own pint glass.
Yeah, you can blow your own.
That I know.
Hilltop Artists.
I'm actually worried to advertise that one too much because the slots are going to fill up so fast.
Well, they're not open yet. Well,
They're
they'll be
not-
open
they
at the
will.
time of this. But every session, 30 to 45 minutes, you learn how to do it. You get paired with an artist, and I think that is going to be really fun.
Yep, leave with a
That's
pint
really
glass.
cool.
Leave with your
Leave
pint glass,
that you
and
made
you're
yourself.
also going to
Yeah.
Hilltop Artists, so
Yeah.
you're going out to the school, and
Nice.
I think that is going to be great. And then we're continuing our tradition, founded 3 years ago, I think, of Beer Week Gives Back. Not just one cleanup. Two cleanups.
Saw that.
Two,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
Two
So
cleanups.
in conjunction with the beer, I'm losing track of all our beers.
So I know there's so many. I'm so sorry. So another future episode. I know it's almost fuck up story time. Another future episode will actually be with Communities for a Healthy Bay and Silver City, who is making a collab beer, and we're going to do a beach cleanup that first Saturday, and then come here to Peaks
Yep,
afterwards.
That's right. And then we're going back to brewery blocks this year. We did 6th Avenue last year, going back to brewery blocks and
Yep.
doing a cleanup.
With Tacoma Trash Pandas.
And Oscar's Enemies.
Yep,
So-
possibly. They have a separate cleanup scheduled, but yeah, Tacoma Trash Pandas for sure. If Oscars can come and help, they certainly
Perfect.
will. But you can always go to Oscars Enemies, follow them on Instagram, and do their cleanups too. But yeah, we did brewery blocks a couple years ago, and we're going to do it again. So that last Sunday will be Who Closed Last Night, and that's our cleanup event.
And I probably won't be there.
To
Matt will be
shiny
there.
up. Yeah, I'll be there that
Oh my
morning.
God, that's
Matt's usually the
closed
only
Who
one.
Closed
Yeah.
Last Night. That's the
That
very
is
last event.
perfection.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So if you guys are in the industry, you fucking know what it's like to wake up and come in and be like, who the fuck closed last night? We're going to trash Tacoma for 9 straight days and then get up early on Sunday and clean it the fuck up.
that
So
is
I hope
perfect.
everybody comes out for who closed last night.
Yeah, for sure.
Plus, you get a cool custom sticker from
You do.
Tacoma Trash Pandas.
I'm still
It's
waiting
fucking
for
rad.
mine.
Okay.
I got promised one.
This is a pickup location right here, so you can actually grab it before you leave.
Great.
Well, there you go.
Well, and if anybody else from the community ever has an interest in an event or anything like that, we actually try to make the bars and other people come up with their events, and then we help promote them. So if you have good ideas, send them to us, because people are always like, how can we be a part? What can we do? And though we are fantastic, obviously, at coming up with ideas, we could always use more, and we do steal them from people. And I stole one that we're going to probably do next year. But
for sure. I mean, we have a giant book. We've brought a lot of that to life, actually.
Exactly.
Over the last few years. But you can always send us an email via our website. Just like, hey, I went to a beer week and I saw this cool idea, leaving it with you.
Right.
The crazier and the more fun, the better.
And we do share our passions with other beer weeks. So Portland Beer Week is going to start doing a trash pickup because I talked to their...
Because of us?
Yeah, because of us. Because
they can have that idea.
They didn't have that idea. They took it
No, I
from
said
us.
they can have that one.
Oh,
They
they
can
can
have the
have
rest of
that.
us.
Oh,
They can
good.
have that one.
It's Portland. It's far enough away. They can It's not Seattle. It's fine.
God damn it. I would like to be friends with those guys.
We can be friends.
You might not be Gini's.
It's okay. I don't.
We love them. We're very excited to go.
We do. Actually,
Ginny's trying to make a fuck up story right now.
All right, Grit and Grainers, I'm Sean Jackson, and I fuck up all the God-blessed time, as we all do. So, please do regale us with your fuck-up stories.
All right, so it's really not a complete fuck-up story, but it is a very, very funny story where the word fuck did come up a lot. So, and it deals with Bethany and Greer.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
And Z. So Bethany and Greer had gone to, I don't know how, like one event, and then we all ended up at Edison City for the sour. So we do need to bring back Sour Fest. Yeah, Greer's already laughing.
They're both already fucking dying.
So-
what is this?
So Z and I have to go to 4 more events that day. We only made it to 1 more after this. So we get to Edison City for their sour night.
Sour tummy, yeah.
And one of the fuck up things is I kept getting the same beer even though I kept ordering something else. And I don't like blueberry pancakey beers. Don't give that to me. If you know me, don't give it to me. I will make the face that Kyleigh does when you give her anything sour. And if you want to see that face together, give us both that beer at the same time. It's gross. I don't want it. So I kept getting that, and finally I'm like, if you don't give me something else, I'm not paying. And so they're like, okay, fine. So and then Z's like, it might be time for us to leave. And this is only our second place. So Z was driving. So we get outside to the car, and... Sorry. And Greer and Bethany were like, can you give us a ride? Because we were going to the Parkway, because the Parkway was doing an event. And yes...
How'd Greer and I get there?
I don't know how you... Oh, you Ubered or something. Uber was new.
You were being very safe.
Yeah, you were being very safe. But then you got in the car with us. So we got in this tiny little car.
Hi, Z.
This tiny little car. And I get in the car, and if anybody's ever met Z, they're the biggest animal lover of all time. And this small, petite little kitten comes out and gets in front of the car, and Z's like, I'm taking it home. And I'm like, I can't let you take that kitten home. Morgan will kill me. And she's like, no. Or they said, no, you have to let me. And I'm like, no. And they got out to get so poor Bethany and Greer are stuck in the back seat of this 2-door car. They cannot get out. And they're well on their way of sour happiness. And they're watching Z and I argue in front of the car about this kitten. And then Z gets in the car, and I try to get the kitten to go away. So the kitten starts hissing at me.
Yeah.
Greer is like...
Arched back, like...
Yeah, it was so insane.
Away
like
everybody.
hopping away. I'm also a huge animal lover, so it's killing me. And Z is like, fuck you, Ginny, I hate you, it's fine. And then Morgan is like texting me going, don't let her bring that kitten home. So all these things are happening all at the same time.
You snitched that fast, or he was like,
yes,
yo.
because I needed backup, because those two weren't going to give them to me.
I know, Z would fuck somebody up, too.
I have been on the receiving of anger. It's not good.
Sure.
So we finally get in the car the whole way to the Parkway. There was banter. It was not great. We get to the Parkway. Z leaves me there, and that's also the night of the couch. And so there's a couch. This story extends. So there's this couch. These people were moving out from across the street, and this is before all of the gates where they were just starting to be formed at the Parkway. So they had their flower garden area, but then all these drunk people decided, because it was beer week, and they were like, we've been to 5 events, and we were supposed to go to 2 more, and I stopped at the Parkway and walked home, because I could do that then. But all of a sudden, these people brought this couch. Who knows what has been done on it?
Oh my gosh.
Over to the Parkway.
Not wrong.
I know I'm not
fair.
wrong. I live in Tacoma, and they put this in the flower bed.
Yep.
And everybody kept sitting in it, and all of a sudden, for some reason, Greer, Bethany, and her like, this is the best place to watch all these people drink. So people kept just bringing us beers.
It was a Lagunitas night, and the Lagunitas
was.
rep was like handing us 10%.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and so we sat there for
Wasn't our fault.
4 hours. We sat there for at least 4 hours on this suspect couch, not getting off. So, yeah,
Okay. And then in the morning, so
I don't remember that part.
I texted you. I was like, because I used to live really close there, and I went back in the morning, or not back in the morning, but I like even looked across the street in the morning. I was like, ooh, that couch is seen better days.
No.
That was not as clean as we thought it was. Nighttime.
Yeah.
Gross. And everyone showered and washed their clothes.
Yeah. It was one of the better evenings. But it all started because I wouldn't let Z have a cat. So
lesson learned.
Mm-hmm. No, I think the kitten is fine.
I don't remember being a kitten. I thought it was like more of a full-grown cat that was mad at us.
I don't know. It looked small, but it was definitely hissing at me, and Z definitely wanted it.
I think it's pretty mad cat. It's out there on the street somewhere. The ghost beer week passed.
Well, yeah, and there's another Sans Run episode, so we don't have an outro. I'm so sorry. But thank you guys both for coming.
We'll see
you around
cannot wait to
town.
Tacoma Beer Week.
Yes.
Hopefully, if you guys are listening, you'll come out and do some fun events.
Yeah, I'm
And we are
excited.
very fun to come out and drink with, so come say hi to me and Kyleigh.
Yeah, if that
Buy us
hasn't
a
been made
drink.
clear,
We're really
I don't
poor.
know.
We pay for a lot of stuff ourselves. No.
That is true, actually. We all fucking
We're
do
all
that.
volunteers. So.
Well, yeah. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to go follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher, and YouTube. And make sure you follow us on social media.
Yep.
There's no such thing as too much barley wine. And there's no bad time to visit Tacoma, especially during Tacoma Beer Week.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yay!
Good job.
Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us at Grit and Grain Podcast wherever you get your social media and catch new episodes every Friday. Cheers.
Channel 253 is member supported. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you. Grit and Grain is part of the Channel 253 podcast network. Check out our other shows: Nerd Farmer, Move to Tacoma, Interchangeable White Ladies, What Say You, Citizen Tacoma, and Kitchen 253.
This is Channel 253.
Get up.